Now here's hello, we're here. Hello Nova, hello Moo. You can speak. They can hear you.
Goody.
My mama
Hello.
here. Okay, we're doing. There we go. Spotify still playing. We're doing 3 different subreddits today. We are gonna do more Am I the Asshole posts like we did last time, but we're gonna start with r/ask Reddit, which is where Redditors just ask a question and people answer it. So we are both individually going to answer the question, and then we'll see what other people answered with. Moo has a dream to stretch. We got stretch your bones. Stretch your bones, mama. She's not stretching. I stretch.
Hey, I just came back from a nice long walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one we're going to do is r/facepalm, which is things people upload that will make you facepalm. So we'll begin with Ask Reddit. And yes, Wotes is here. Yep. She was hoping there was catnip in that hand. There wasn't. Boo was supposed to be on camera, but instead she's blocking the screen. Alright, but yes, that's my hand you're sniffing. Thank you. Okay, so first Ask Reddit question. Oh, please. People always say the book's better than the movie. What movie is actually better than the book? Any thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Under the Tuscan Sun.
Under the Tuscan Sun. What? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the movie was way better than the book. The book was like a travel book, so it was a bit dry.
Okay.
And somehow they got this. I saw the movie and went, oh, this is great. What do you mean it was based on a book? I should get the book. And then, I mean, the book was interesting. And for a travel book, it was, wasn't dry, but compared to the movie, it was, yeah, they definitely gotten really creative and taken that and turned it into something more exciting.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have some. But my brain is. The Giver, the movie was a little bit better. I think the movie was slightly better for The Giver because the whole point was that everyone sees the world in black and white except the Giver. So the whole plot is visual. So it's not that the book was bad, it's just that the plot works better as a movie. Everyone's left. You want to hand me the catnip at the top drawer so I can summon the cat now? Oh, Moose says that they agree. The Giver was better as a movie. Yeah, I read it in school, so that's also, books are slightly worse when you read them for school, because then you have to analyze them while you're reading. What was another one?
I do a lot more reading than movie watching.
I just can't think of anything right now. I just ate all the drugs. Oatmeal didn't get any.
Peanut says, more please.
No.
Hi, big dog. I need more before it's effective.
We don't need drugs. Oatmeal does.
He says it's not drugs, it's green.
That's a lot of drugs.
He says it's produce.
You don't need that many drugs. I never read it for school, but I did read it a few times. That's fair. Put that away because Peanut won't eat the whole book.
If you want some more,
Okay.
Ooh, she says yes, please. I want more.
Mac is also here. You can't really see him, but okay. What did Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I've seen that movie, but I've never read the book.
I didn't even know there was a book.
The plot is very different. The characters are all unlikable. Eddie isn't a tragic character who's dealing with his brother's death by drinking his life away and alienating all his tunes. He's a friend. He's a hard-bitten, hard-drinking asshole just because Roger is dead and the character who killed him doesn't really make any sense. Well, that takes the whole point of the cartoon thing out if Roger dies.
I'm very confused. This is not what I remember, but then I only saw the movie.
Huh. What else? Oh, everyone was talking about that. Jaws. The book is not bad. What's he eating?
No?
Good question.
Her new toy.
Oh, okay.
She is destroying her new toy. That'll keep her happy.
It's just determined there to be no cats on the camera.
Yeah.
Jaws. I've not read or seen that one. Oh, spoiler. Shrek. Shrek was a book? A picture book written by William Steig, the same man who wrote Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. Ever heard of that? Well, obviously the movie was better. None of us have heard the book. Anyone else surprised by the sheer amount of movies you didn't know were originally a book? Yeah. I've just never read any of these books. Can't confirm or deny any of these. Oh, well, surely a Steve. Okay, oh, that's a good one. Literally any Stephen King movie. Smile. I haven't read it, thank God. But I've heard the movie is significantly better for many reasons. Because Stephen King writes children a little odd. A little like, I'm surprised he has children of his own, you know?
Oh.
Carrie, that's a good one. The movie was better with Carrie. I didn't like the Carrie book, but the movie was decent.
I haven't read any Stephen King or watched any of his movies.
That's really fun.
I've just purposefully, I think, avoided him my whole life.
Sorry, the It book is really thick. I want to say It in like standard hardcover form is 1,400 pages.
You got to really like Stephen King to commit 1,400 pages.
I'm not committing to that one. Absolutely not. I'll stick to the movie on that one. I do like some Stephen King books, but they're so hit or miss for me. Typically, his books without children are better, though. And his books after he stopped doing drugs are better. So, you know. Okay, what was our next questions? We just haven't.
I feel like we just totally got off topic in a sense.
It's fine. Oh, this post has been removed by moderators. What's something America does better than the rest of the world? Only letting their...
And we're asking Canadians this.
Yeah,
is this wise?
Canadians. No, but I was going to say only letting the head of government serve 2 terms.
That is very, yes. Yeah, I agree with that. That's really wise.
Yeah, don't do that. America.
I mean, they can still screw things up pretty badly in 2 terms, but at least there's an end of it.
Yeah, anyone can screw things up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What? You didn't know that, Nova? Yeah, because in the States, the president can only be the president for 2 terms, like a total of 8 years. In Canada, the prime minister can go forever. Forever and ever, amen. And most prime ministers like that. I know it's the same in the UK. As long as the prime minister gets the most votes. Oh, you just didn't hear. Well, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is something that's
I'm
wise.
not sure if they do much else better, but party size bags of food.
Oh, seriously? I don't.
Yeah.
And you don't link that in your brain at all to, an issue with obesity?
Nah.
No?
People can be obese without party-sized candy, and people can be skinny with party-sized candy.
I just feel like it's a bit encouraging to make poor food choices when you have party-sized bags of candy. Well, and it's not Halloween.
Okay. Maybe it's for a party.
Uh-huh.
I am the life of the party. I can never promise myself. Moose says it would be weird having the same person in charge forever. It would. It hasn't happened, but it could. Well,
that would be called a dictatorship.
I guess it could happen. Technically, the queen, but she's dead now, but she doesn't really do much when she's alive. Well, she did.
I feel like that came out wrong.
No, she didn't do much when she's alive. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, no, because in Canada, we only go up to a family-size bag. Like, the first time I was in California, I went like a normal grocery store. I was like, damn, those bags are big. So they go family-size, and then they have another one.
Wow.
Step up. The bags are huge. It's awesome. Anything else? What do people say? The first one, oversized products. Exactly. Mega-sized products, yeah. Part of the issue is that the party... Oh, is that the party in control constantly seesaws? That's true. You switch between... You only have... That's a thing that I think America does worse. They only have 2 parties.
Yeah, that doesn't... That seems like a very limited amount of choice.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot more parties here. Really, we don't...
Many.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of them really don't have much of a foothold at all. And probably never will. But... At least cut it down. At least there are options,
Yeah. Because we also have the official opposition. So technically 2 parties have a reasonable amount of control at once. There's just other ones also there. Fried chicken sandwiches. I can't say that I think America necessarily does it better than other places, But Canada and America have a lot of the same fast food, so it's not
People do seem to be talking a lot about food here. Does anyone talk about anything besides food?
barbecue. National parks.
I have heard
That's
they have nice
interesting.
national parks.
Yeah. Again, we live in a place that's still. Oh, Pilano wishes me to look at my Discord. Woke caller. Oh, is Wokemeal doxing us? Apparently, our phone number was showing. It's so tiny, I doubt anyone can read it. But thank you. Again, we live in a place that has nice national parks, though. Like that could be, someone from I don't know, a place without national parks. Why is this ad so much louder than music? Hello, sign man. Oh yeah, Canada might give you rent for your money on the national parks. Immigration of people from all over the world.
No, integration.
Oh, I heard this.
You.
Integration. Questionable, but I guess. Oh, I see what they mean if you read it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that no matter where you come from, or you'll in America, you're just an American. Like if you're born in Germany, you're born in Germany. People still see you as Turk. In Japan, your grandparents could have moved to Japan despite both your parents being born in Japan. Their restaurants still refuse to serve you, and strangers come up to you telling you to go home is perfectly acceptable. I mean, there's definitely still racism in America.
Really?
Yeah. What if you?
I'm so shocked.
But that's coming up, Simon. Don't you worry. And you can say asshole in my chat. It's all right. We did that a couple weeks ago. Actually, we did some, and we're gonna do some later today. Yeah, that's true. In Germany, you're a first-generation immigrant. In America, you're a first-generation American. That's true. That's something I think America does weird, though, is that nowhere, you're never going to be called an African Canadian.
This is true.
You're never going to be called an Asian Canadian. I mean, you might be, but America does it for everyone, and pretty much no other country does it. No one else tacks on your nationality at the end.
Yeah.
Like, well, hi, little man.
Hi, Mac. Do you feel left out, buddy? Do you have something to share? You've never been to America, sweetie.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure that he has not been to America. Here, go ahead. Keep talking.
He's right at the mic.
No, now he's silent.
Yep.
Stage fright.
Real.
Mm-hmm.
Signed up won't say asshole. I'm so sorry, Simon. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, maybe there's a reason for it, but I don't really, like, we don't do that. I don't know any country that does that except America.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of countries we don't know much about, but
yeah, but
if the ones we're familiar with, yeah, it's America that does that.
Only America wants you to know that you're American, and I wouldn't want people to know if I was American person. Who knows? What are your favorite conspiracy theories? You know any conspiracy theories? I know we've talked about them before when we're on a long road trip. We're driving, and I was telling you about how I think the moon landing's fake, and well, I don't know if I think it was fake, but that's my favorite conspiracy theory because it has some of the most compelling arguments.
Yeah.
Like how NASA was like, there's no gravity on, or there's no wind on the moon. Was the flag in the video waving in the wind? Yes, but there's no wind on the moon. Come again? Oh, everyone knows doing the alphabet. A is for B is for babosis. Signman's favorite conspiracy theory is Amelia Earhart, and Moo says that the moon is not real. And C is for crispy. Do you have any conspiracy theories you personally enjoy?
I don't know that I enjoy any of them.
Okay, well, do you have a favorite, though?
The one, I don't usually pay any attention. It was really hard not to pay attention to some of them during the pandemic, and there was one out there. People seem to think that Trump was the Messiah. That was
yeah, people think a lot of things about Trump.
That was a little confusing to me.
He's for Eminem. flat earthers are funny because they will go to any lengths to convince you.
Yes, that is a pretty funny and I mean, come on, we live on a planet with cats. If the earth was flat, wouldn't they have pushed everything off by now?
For real.
Mm-hmm.
Simon says he remembers the Trump being the Messiah. He remembers that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got here? Yuri Gagarin wasn't the first man in space. He's just the first to come back alive. I've never heard that, but I would completely buy it. I'd fully believe that some government sent someone to space and just covered up the fact they died, because who's going to prove that?
Yeah, I think
that's
plausible.
Realistic, yeah.
That's plausible.
I haven't heard of that, but I'd believe it. There's a guy in a red suit that commits breaking and entering into every single home in the world in one night. Everyone is happy about it. Santa. That one is popular down here because of the rednecks. Oh, Signman lives in Deep South. Any and all UFO cover-up conspiracies are fun as hell. They're exciting, frightening, and sometimes bizarre. Yeah. Area 51, that whole thing is interesting. Because at this point, no one can prove anything about Area 51, one way or another. There's too much. E.B. Cooper. It's good old-fashioned mystery that hasn't been written, but that's fair.
Seriously?
Stevie Wonder is blind.
People think Stevie Wonder isn't blind? Really?
You ever seen the video of that guy trying to drive?
What was he doing trying to drive?
I don't know, but I watched a movie about his life, and then part of it he drove, and I was like, did he actually? And I looked it up, and sure enough.
That sounds a bit unsafe.
Oh, wait. I'm still going through the alphabet. F is for Forgs, G is for Grumpy, H is for Ha-Her, I is for Icky, J is for Jackie Boy. The Umbrella Man? I don't know that one. I don't know what Umbrella Man is. Oh, wait, the umbrella on the grassy knoll?
Oh, isn't that from some TV show? That sounds
The
really
Umbrella
familiar.
Academy?
No, the Umbrella Man. Isn't there some show where there's some
the
creepy guy who always has an umbrella?
Oh, we're talking about John
No?
F. Kennedy.
Oh, okay, never mind that.
I was with Signman, the grassy knoll.
Yeah,
The guy with the umbrella on the
okay,
grassy knoll.
okay.
Yeah. K is for crispy again. L is for L. Yeah, Umbrella Man. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe with the man with the umbrella.
I don't know either, apparently.
Any Twitch chatters connecting brain cells with my mom right now?
I wouldn't trust my memory on
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
know what it's about. Oh, now Boo wants to participate by blocking the camera. M is for Mother Government. That's you. Okay, so we don't know a whole lot about conspiracy theories, is what we're learning.
Yeah, because we try to ignore them.
What's your worst bad neighbor story?
I think I've always had pretty good neighbors. I've been really fortunate. Well, you've had the same neighbors.
Well, yeah, all my neighbors were also your neighbors.
Yes.
But not all your neighbors were my neighbors.
Yes. I don't know, most of my neighbors have been pretty good, I think. I don't remember any.
Oh, apparently Simon has some stories about his neighbors. Our neighbor got her tires slashed a couple months ago.
Yeah, but I mean, the neighbors weren't
fine,
bad neighbors. I mean, we got our front window shot once, but the people who shot it weren't our neighbors. So
there was a guy in the corner who worked out half naked every once in a while. Remember when it was like just a stoop, there were no stairs? It was just like a solid 2-foot drop.
Yes, I remember there used to be a fellow in the corner there and his teenage son.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the teenage son would get a bit bored, I guess. Well, that's what we'll say it was. I remember coming home one day and seeing him like running around on people's roofs.
What the?
And then I came home one day and he had some golf balls and a golf club and he was just like shooting golf balls around the neighborhood.
Damn.
So I guess that would be I mean, he wasn't the worst neighbor, but he wasn't, that wasn't a fabulous choice on his part.
Yeah. Apparently Signman had some druggy neighbors. N is for nocturnal raccoons and O is for ole, ole, ole. Yeah, we haven't had that many. Moo said, childhood host neighbor would feed her children sand because she thought it was super healthy. That's concerning.
I'm hoping she got some support for her mental health.
Yeah, that does not sound healthy to me.
Mm,
Yeah, no, we haven't had many bad neighbors.
no. We did have an exciting day one time when the neighbors, they're not there anymore, but their son, I guess, had been a naughty boy. And a bunch of police vehicles, marked and unmarked, like about 4 or 5 of them all showed up, and they took him down on the sidewalk. And you guys were just like, you were fairly young. You were like, you were in elementary school, I think, at the time. And you two were like watching out the window. So, and I didn't know what to tell you. So I said, oh, well, they caught him drinking and driving. This is why you don't do that.
Hey.
As they were cuffing him on the sidewalk and they were sitting on him. And I have no idea. But you both swore you weren't going to drink for a long time and that, you know.
Hey, it's still boys. I'm a pina colada only kind of gal. First one's very exciting. It was raided by a team of U.S. Marshals in full gear with 2 canines. They were executing a warrant for a fugitive pedophile accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. He was my neighbor.
Wow, that's scary. Yeah, that's a bad neighbor.
A bad neighbor. I'm guessing a lot of them will be domestic violence. I don't want to read about what you did to his cat.
No.
Crazy neighbor. When I was in high school, I would go to summer football practice. I was a kid who never missed a summer football practice. One day when I was at practice, my neighbor tried to get me taken away from my family by calling the cops until I kept on trying to jump behind her car that morning and cause insurance fraud. Luckily, my parents convinced the cops I didn't do it. Even if the cops didn't believe my parents, I had 100 witnesses that could prove I was at practice. That neighbor just wanted money, though. P is for paprika. Real. A married couple, probably around 60 years old. She was normal during the daytime, but drunk and screaming all night. He spread rumors about the other neighbors, like that the Moroccan family had poisoned his dog. He told my kids they should always behave or their stepdad might kill them. They decorated the exterior of their house with ugly, sparkly stickers. They stole electricity and the neighbor's bike. Tried to prevent my husband letting his friend move in because that would lead to cheating and jealousy. He didn't know any of us personally.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they were just a bunch of drunk people.
Yeah.
But married drunk
Busybody drunk people. Mm-hmm.
One time, apparently, when I was in school, the kid who sat in front of me brought a gun. Well, damn. Really, nobody really does live in America.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin addicted prostitute.
Yeah, that wouldn't be an ideal neighbor.
Yeah. My God, this is a long one. Neighbor goes on vacation with his wife and daughter over Thanksgiving. They don't tell the neighbors they are going anywhere, and I only know them to look at them. Daughter has some rough friends. She posts up her trip to Facebook and updates over time. Their house gets broken into by the ne'er-do-well friends, and given it's not their first time doing such a thing, they take their time and are quiet about what they're doing. There are no windows in my house that look like the neighbor's house and vice versa. Oh, that look at the neighbor's house and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
They get back and blame me and the neighbors across the street for not keeping an eye on their house. They tell no one they are going, that thieves are not partying, they're keeping quiet, they're not breaking things. Their daughter's basically updating them with information that says that they aren't going to be home for another week. Even if I did see them in the house, I didn't have the neighbor's number. They didn't say they're going anywhere. I have no idea who his friends are, so they might actually say they're supposed to be there. Completely blamed everyone except himself for not telling people he's gone. And his daughter, who was essentially telling the thieves through live updates when they're gone and when they're back. They talk about that in a lot of, like, more recent episodes of crime shows, talking about how when you post on social media, you are updating people that, hey, I'm not in my house right now.
Yep.
Or like, hey, here's my exact location. Come murder me later. Like,
yeah, you're supposed to post all those fabulous holiday trip pictures after you're back home again.
Or, you know, when someone else is still in your house.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Head on car crash in front of his home. Was on my cell phone with 911 requesting an ambulance. He stole the purse of the woman who crashed? Damn. That's a little messed up. Lots of drunk people, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was adopted and ended up living next door to my bio parents. Sometimes only not. Good to know so early what kind of mental illness runs in the family.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I would move if I were those parents.
Yeah.
The adopted ones, that is. What was the dumbest decision you thought you had made that turned out to be the best decision you could have made at that moment?
That would Sorry, my brain stopped.
I
That
thought
would
you were looking at me right now. Having you.
no,
having a
I was going to
child.
say that would require me to have some sort of memory
That's
to
fair.
remember making a dumb decision and then have it turn out.
What are dumb things I've done that turned out? Oh, flying to another country to meet strangers.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been so
There were
dumb.
quite a few family members who were like really worried when I told them what you were doing.
Child do that?
It was like, she's put a lot of thought into this. It's going to be fine. And they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that could have been dumb.
Yep, it could have been.
To be fair, I didn't think it was dumb at the time. Like, it's always in the back of my head, I'm going to America to meet strangers, and what if she's not at the airport when I get there? What? But
Yeah, you set yourself up pretty well, the best you could, and you basically had more knowledge of the people you were going to meet than they had of you. So
that's true. Ultimately, that worked out.
I would have spoken up if I thought there was a reason particularly to be concerned.
Well, that's good.
I wouldn't just go, oh, life learning experience. Good luck, honey.
I figured it out. When I was 12, I applied and got into private school. Having been in the public system my whole life, my exposure to high school was TV shows where the private ones were all full of genius rich people. What's that word?
Erroneously
thought, what does that mean?
In error.
Okay, erroneously thought I was very lucky, but have to work hard to prove I belonged. Year 7s at this school got to choose one optional class out of Japanese or speech and communication. Chose the former just because a class about giving speeches sounded terrible. It caught me surprised when it came time for a first elective and 99% of my class wasn't taking Japanese. I asked a girl why she liked giving speeches, and she explained that speech and communication was the school's wanky way of saying drama. Loved to have taken drama, but I was too damn scared to go to my head teacher and explain I was too dumb to know what 99% of my classmates seemed to. So I stuck with Japanese. Turns out I had a knack for it, and several years of studying later, I'd been to Japan 4 times and now work and travel. All because I was too scared to admit I didn't understand the title of a subject when I was 12.
Well, that definitely worked out in their favor.
Cues for questions. Quitting my job of 8 years childcare to study dental assisting. Boo, you have just destroyed the cat cam. It's a little rude. And now she's blocking it, so I can't even see if I fixed it. She's so jealous. R's, of course.
You're gonna have to scroll up further if you want to see. She's in the way.
Who is doing her best to just wreak havoc right now? Many years ago, I was service guy for an electrical company. I told my boss to go F himself and abruptly quit. I had no plan B, no real direction, was in debt. I was totally screwed. Ended up getting a gig as a helper/laborer at a union electrical shop to make ends meet. While I was working there, I signed up for a union apprenticeship. Fast forward to the present, I've had a fantastic career as a union electrician, making 6 figures plus benefits. Literally, the one impulsive decision I made out of anger was the best decision I've ever made in my life. So lots of quitting jobs is people's dumb decision that worked out. To be honest, I feel like childcare, you have a strong stomach because you never know what's going to happen. That's true. I could never do childcare. I wouldn't even want to care for my own children. So caring for others sounds like a poor choice for me. Hi, Crow. Daycare sure is something. I think I remember, did I like daycare? I feel like I liked.
You didn't go to daycare.
Not daycare, like play school.
Oh, play school. Yeah. Yeah, you liked play school.
I have one.
You refused to have your photo taken.
Well, I still do that most of the time.
Yeah, well, and I think you were really scared of the photographer.
I was scared.
You would not go in the room with the photographer at all. You had to stay in a different room. So
wasn't a man.
Yeah, it was. And so I had to, whenever it was time for photos, I had to come and be there so that someone could be in the other room with you, so the teachers could go and be in the photo with the rest of the kids.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. And I had to reassure them that I said, I have a camera. I take lots of pictures of my child. I don't need a picture of her with all of her classmates. In 10 years, we won't know who any of them are anyways. It won't matter.
That's so true.
It's fine.
The one memory I genuinely have from play school is when we read a book about a mitten and the animals crawl in the mitten. And so they cut this big sheet in the shape of a mitten and we crawled in the mitten as we read the book. We were different animals. And That's the only memory I have from play school. But
No, you really liked play school, and you had lots of friends in play school.
I do
You always
remember
had friends.
Nova had told me this story before about a group of kids were just given a tub of cookie dough and like, have at it. They're grubby little children hands.
Sanitation was taken in a whole different light before the pandemic.
Yeah, but still, like,
And hygiene.
we always talk about children are sticky, and maybe it's because you don't teach children hygiene at a young enough age.
Well, it's that whole 5-second rule.
5-second rule,
Yeah,
sharing is
I
caring.
found the floor. It's fine. Pick it up and eat it.
I mean, I still do that, to be fair, but I just get sick easily, so.
Yeah, there you go.
For some reason, the play structure was only able to be played on for like 30 minutes. Or else it would collapse. Like, Simon said his only memory from that age is about, or that play school, preschool, whatever he was in, about waiting for teachers to talk in a toy dollhouse. Well, fair enough.
I have exactly one memory of play school, and our play school was located on a really busy road, and so if they wanted to take us to the local park, in order to get there, they had to walk us along this road.
Mm-hmm.
So they had these plastic purple and pink skipping ropes, and they would tie us, literally they would tie them around our waists and literally tie one child to the other to lead us down the road to keep us all together.
I know we had to like hold hands a lot in elementary school.
They didn't trust us to hold hands. They tied us together if they took us to the park.
I know we did a lot of hand holding when we walked, when we're in like, because you know in our elementary school how it's sort of divided, like the youngest grades were on one end and the older grades were on the other end, which it was only kindergarten through 5, so it didn't seem that. Now it seems kind of silly. If we're in like kindergarten or 1st grade, if we had to walk to the gymnasium because it's not in the big kids end of the school, we'd all have to hold hands and like walk along the edge.
Yep, you did. Yeah, it might seem silly now, but I do remember volunteering in the school, and to the kindergarten and the grade 1 kids, those grade 5s are big and terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Sandman. He said if I had to do the hand holding in this day and age, I would cancel people. Yeah, I can't. So many pandemic things now. So many kids that grew up.
Well, I never agreed with making the kids hold hands.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but like there's gonna be so many children who are gonna grow up with such careful safety precautions.
Mm-hmm.
Like that they're just not gonna know how to interact with things.
I felt like when we took off our masks, we'd all forgotten how to school our faces into appropriate expressions.
I started working my first customer service job like right after masks stopped being enforced, so that was a lot. COVID babies are different. Anyhow, our next question. If you suddenly woke up as a cat, what would be the first thing you'd do? Oh, feel the joy of never paying taxes again. Never paying someone to do my taxes for me again. It's so silly. Play the music, please, Spotify. Thank you. Those videos where COVID babies are brought into grocery stores are funny. I've seen one of those. It was like a 2-year-old who'd never been in a grocery store before, put in a grocery store. Oh, Nova says the first thing she do is sleep, 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 sleep forever. And ever.
You'd probably stretch first. Have a big stretch.
Oh, a big cat stretch and a sunbeam.
Mm-hmm. Find a person's head or something to lie on.
Yeah, step on someone, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely step on someone.
Yeah, oatmeal likes when I first wake up, she likes to like lie sort of right across my throat and try to hold me down.
Mm-hmm. I've learned little Mac has developed that if he's too happy, he starts drooling, which is not good for me because I'm allergic to cat saliva. He was in bed with me last night and I was going scooch, 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 scooch under his chin and a little drop fell and he was like, never mind. Not sketching you.
He probably learned that from Air. She drools all the time.
I would move into Kango's house as a cat, yeah. And his first move as a cat would be to move in with us. Probably a wise choice, to be fair. Become a nuisance. I feel like sleeping as a cat would be great. Cats just have the ability to sleep anywhere, anytime, all the time. What do people say? Nah, lick my balls. Just cat things, I guess. I don't know about that one.
Push stuff off the table.
Stretch my tiny legs. Panic and run to see if my cat is in my body. a good point.
It is, yes.
That's a good point.
Oh, here. I'd find myself a cat lady that would cuddle with me. I'm failing to achieve that as a man, but as a cat, I'd have a chance, maybe.
He's probably right. That's true. Nova said I probably wouldn't have back issues because I'd be stretching all the time. That's true. Cats do a lot of stretching. Maybe they're onto some. They also have those weird spines that like go ooh, though, like that help them land on their feet. You know when the spine goes ew. Probably meow. Run up and down the hall of my house testing my new cat body. It's fair. Oh yeah, become besties with your cats. My God, I'd have to hear what my cats have to say.
This person says I would go over to my two kitties and headbutt and snuggle the heck out of them. I feel like your two kitties would freak out and attack you because they'd be like, who the heck is this strange cat in my house?
I feel like I'd not want to become a cat because then I'd have to communicate actually with our cats, and I don't really want to know what Boo has to say.
Yeah, and then who would feed you?
It's true.
You and your cats would be all lined up, staring at the empty bowls.
Cats always land on their feet. Yeah, that's the spine thing I was talking about. That helps them land on their feet.
Except when they don't.
Well, we don't have to talk about Boo. Just slams into the ground a lot. Find the litter box. Oh, sleep for 16 hours. Sounds so awesome. So it's mostly eating and sleeping and sleeping. When your cat already know who you are, since you probably smell. Maybe. I don't know if I would still smell like myself, though. It's a good question. Walk across my owner's laptop. Die. I'm severely allergic to cats. Well.
Someone else suggested, though, if you turned into a cat, you would not be allergic.
Yeah. That's something to think about, I guess. It's loading. Please hold. It's doing its best. Did our internet go out? No. What movie has a misleading title? I can see the poster in my head. What's it called? This is the end of things? It's something like this is the end of it. This is the end of things.
Did things actually end?
When I heard the title, I was like, oh, it's an end of the world movie. Like this. No, it was just the end of her relationship. It really wasn't that big of a deal.
Only to her. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh, I saw a trailer for that.
No, okay, yeah, it was.
Okay.
I'm thinking of ending things, so I thought it was about like the end of her life. Like she was going to kill herself or something. But no, it's just the end of her relationship.
Well,
Thinking of ending things, that one. Maybe I'm just too morbid.
Maybe. There's a possibility there.
Oh my God, Fast X, when it said it was the final movie and then it turns out there's another one. That was misleading in the worst way. 10 of them was too many by like 8. Tokyo Drift is the only good one. Please, let go. Let go of the franchise.
Oh, they're going to keep milking that for as long as they can.
I'm so glad I didn't have to pay to see that movie. Tyler got me in for free. It was too much. We saw Fast X in the theater. Oh.
No, Signman here has a few suggestions. White Screen of Death and Frozen.
What is white screen? Oh, he was talking about the screen. Our screen went white.
Oh, okay.
I was like, white screen of death? I've never heard of this.
Frozen.
How was that misleading? That's what happened. I think.
Well, there was ice. Yeah.
Things were frozen.
Oh, he wanted things to be 100% frozen, I guess, and everyone die. You were looking for something for more fatalistic.
Yeah. You want the old... I want the Old Guard too. The Old Guard is a really good movie. And the sequel is coming eventually. Can you think of any misleading movie titles?
Well, I'm kind of liking the suggestion someone made here on the Reddit post of Never Ending Story. It ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. Well, when I hear Frozen, I don't think of snow. That's fair. There's a lot of snow. He's thinking Frozen like the Ice Queen from Narnia when everyone turned to stone. Endgame. But it's still True. Endgame. And then it just kept going. There's been like 3 TV shows and 2 movies since that. That's true.
Naked Lunch. There's a movie called Naked Lunch. And what does that mean exactly?
What is that about?
That you eat lunch while you're naked? Or
No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood should switch titles.
oh,
Well, I worked at a movie theater when the movie Ghost World came out. We had several customers wanting a refund after finding out there weren't any ghosts.
well, why would it be called Ghost World then? Is it about
Maybe
people
it's like
ghost?
post-apocalyptic. There's no one left. I don't know. All the Mission Impossible movies. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Improbable.
yes.
Improbable would make more sense. Mission Improbable.
Harry Potter
Yes.
and the Cursed Child. Yet the child wasn't cursed. You know, it really wasn't. The cider house rules. The cider house wasn't that cool. Because Harry Potter is no Harry Potter and himself. Happiness. That film did not make me happy. Oh. Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Ocean's 11. Apparently, there was no ocean in the movie.
That's true. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no ocean. To Kill a Mockingbird. Real. No mockingbirds died. Beetlejuice. That's just the name of the guy. Good Will Hunting. Yeah, Will Hunting wasn't really that nice of a guy, actually. So I guess that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Trolls 2. No trolls in the movie. Damn.
So did they mean troll like someone was trolling someone?
Good Will Hunting is a good movie, but Will Hunting himself was not a great guy. Reservoir Dogs. There were no dogs in that.
Was there a reservoir?
There was.
Was a reservoir, just no dogs. Okay.
And Triple X and its sequel. I haven't seen those.
Hey, why did someone say Happy Feet? I don't think that was a bad name for that movie.
I don't think
Those
so.
little penguins had happy feet.
I think so.
Dancing
His feet
penguins?
were happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming they mean the DreamWorks movie? For trolls?
Fried green tomatoes. There were fried green tomatoes in that movie.
Charlotte's Web is a fair one, because Charlotte's the spider, but that's not the main character. How I Met Your Mother. It took 9 seasons. That's fair.
It took 9 seasons for him to meet the mother?
I think to find out how they met the mother.
Oh.
I've never seen it.
Well, that's drawing things out of
Just
ways.
a little bit. Okay, this is our last Ask Reddit question. Then we'll do some face palms. How I Met Your Mother is like How I Met Your Mother, but I love this person actually. Damn. That's a little messed up. You can do it, Reddit. I believe in you.
Loading. Loading.
I don't think it's
Maybe
already
loading. Sort of loading. What is the adult equivalent to the ice cream truck?
Why did the page decide to change and you just fully can't see it on the stream? Oh well. What is the adult equivalent of the ice cream truck?
I don't think there is one,
The
but
ice
if there
cream truck.
was, it would be a margarita truck.
That's fair.
You know,
Cocktail
it
truck.
comes around at like about 5 o'clock,
Food truck. I mean, food trucks
playing
don't-
salsa music.
Food trucks don't drive by. Like, I think by the equivalent of the ice cream truck, they mean you hear or see something and you go running to get it because you don't get it very often. Okay. The food trucks are everywhere
Yeah.
because no one wants to pay lamb's taxes. Food wars. Yeah, like the first comment, it's still the ice cream truck. It's still the ice cream truck, I think. Remember when we briefly had an ice cream truck and it was really creepy?
Yeah. That
It was
was,
like 2 summers in a row and the music was a little,
the music
it
was
was
a
like in
little,
a minor key or something.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
it was a
That's
little
for sure.
off for sure.
I don't know if there's an adult equivalent of the ice cream truck.
There should be, though. There should be a margarita and taco truck that comes around at 5 o'clock. I would be all in for that.
I don't know. What did people say besides just the ice cream truck again? Ice cream truck. Ice cream truck. Ice cream truck. Ice cream. Everyone's just saying the ice cream truck is still.
Apparently adults really like ice cream trucks.
Taco trucks are a thing, apparently. But taco trucks don't really drive around. Like, they're just parked. Yeah. Beer cart on a golf course. That's fair. Food trucks. Yeah, it's just still just the ice cream truck, I think. Ice cream truck that sold beer would make a fortune. Someone should start that. I feel like there's got to be some real difficulties with that, though, since it's illegal to drive with open alcohol in a vehicle.
Yeah, that would probably be an issue.
How do you get around that one?
I don't know.
And presumably you wouldn't be drunk while doing it.
One would hope not.
Well, yeah, but
no sampling the product.
The Hello Kitty Cafe truck was very misleading. It was literally called the Hello Kitty Cafe truck, but they sold merchandise, not food. So like Hello Kitty shirts and stuff.
Well, that's still sad.
Yeah. And the lineup was massive. We changed our minds about that one. Yeah, that would be hard to do. Weed delivery man. So it's the ice cream truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the ice cream truck. Okay, we're gonna do some face palms now. Reddit really doesn't want to load for us. Husband gets the wife out of the car to park it. Why are they all with the same car?
Yeah, all the cars in the parking lot are white.
What is going on?
And they all have sunroofs.
What?
Every one of them, they all have sunroofs.
What is she doing? What is he doing?
No idea. She's running around the outside of the car, and he's
Who's this guy?
Oh, now we got. Oh, okay. He finally parked. Well, that's impressive. Because, man, he was having a hard time there.
Maybe.
Well, first she's trying to park it, and she
can. So he tells her.
We don't know what's going on here at all. I'm just impressed, actually, that she hasn't run over her husband at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna run her. She's like trying to insurance fraud right now. What?
It's like she's just kind of getting in the way, and he's like, "Get out of my way, woman, so I can park without driving over top of you." Yeah. Oh, so then the guy on the bike was the one who actually parked it in the end.
Parked it in one try. I hope that's not their vehicle. Like, I hope Simon's right and it's a DMV or something. That's upsetting. Okay. I can see the face palm of that. It's like me. It is like Nova and Coral. Okay. Guests urged to be vaccinated at anti-vaxxer Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s party. Difficult to overstate what absolute utter charlatans these people are. Please don't come to my party unless you're vaccinated, but also don't get the vaccine. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what's happening is that his staff is like, yeah, okay, our boss is a little dumb, so please get vaccinated before you come. You know, just, we don't want
please
COVID.
Get vaccinated because there's all these anti-vaxxers here and they might make you sick. I don't know.
What do people say?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, and sad to see her. Oh my God, who's this? Who are they talking about? The wife of Larry David? I don't know who that is, so that means nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everyone's just talking about his wife. Damn. What does his wife do? Smack's head. Yeah, that's a facepalm one. It's very silly. You can do it, Reddit. I believe in you. I know I have many things running and open, but please. Imagine hating England. There's no country in the world more beautiful. I feel like when people say I hate England, they're not referring to the plants and cows.
Probably not.
Yeah. The beauty of a country will do nothing for it if it's, you know, the home of colonization and such. That's like saying, oh, you can't hate America, look at the geysers. Oh, you can't hate America, look at the bald eagles. Like, That's not what they're talking about.
Probably not. Probably
That's
not.
Also, that's the Swedish flag, not the flag of England. Or not the Swedish flag, the
Yeah, it's not the flag of England either way, whoever's flag it is. That's a little odd that they put that with their little statement.
Yeah. I think that person might not know what they're talking about, perhaps.
Yeah.
England, where the beauty of its women and the local culinary delights made some of the best sailors in the world. Multiple choice. Is it A, the imperialism/colonialism, B, the arrogance, C, the food, D, all of the above? They do like beans on toast for breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, and better yet, they like their toast cold, dry, and hard.
Yeah. The food in England, like,
they don't bring you the toast and they toast it and then they let it sit there until it's good and cold and then they bring it to you. So you have no hope in hell of your butter actually melting on your toast the way it's supposed to.
That's messed up.
You could pretty much play hockey with their toast.
Why? Why would you want cold? What's the point of cooking something if you're going to eat it cold?
I have no idea, but they almost seem offended when you suggest that perhaps they could bring you the toast the moment it pops out of the toaster.
Yeah.
Or just let you toast it yourself so you can be in charge of eating it while it's still warm.
I'm British/English. While I do love my country, there's several places I'd prefer to live if I could. This includes South Korea, Norway, Greece, and California. Yeah, you know, England's got stuff, probably.
I think all
like cows and grass.
Every country has stuff. I mean, no country is a utopia. No country's got it all right.
No one's talking about the cows when they say they hate England. Confirmed. Oh, it can. You just have to hold for the white screen every now and then. I'm so sorry to chat. It's just how it is. When I was 5, I found out my grandpa had a twin when I saw him at my grandpa's funeral.
Oh my gosh, that would be terrifying.
That would have been nice.
I'd say so. Seriously?
That's
that poor 5-year-old. He probably thought he was seeing a ghost or they'd lied to him and grandpa wasn't actually dead.
Damn. No, there's just no reason you wouldn't tell them.
That's ridiculous.
See, no, but you say there's nothing to do where you are, but it's just because you've done it all so many times. So anytime I visit you, there's so much more to do than there is where I live.
Oh, wait, maybe that could be the same thing.
Okay, our movie theater only has 2 screens. Theirs has 16.
Well, yes, they live in a slightly better, bigger community. We used to have mini golf. I don't know what happened to it, but there's no mini golf here anymore.
You can see cows here. No need to go to England.
This is true. Cows. We have cows. We do.
We have cows within a reasonable distance.
Sheep. Horses.
Llamas.
Wild horses.
Are they llamas or alpacas? That one lady has with the mini ponies?
Well, and it could be both.
One or the other.
Some people farm elk, and there's the bison.
But I love bison.
And the bears.
Mini golf is...
We get those in town sometimes.
You're going to Six Flags soon, aren't you? Or are you going somewhere else? Six Flags and amusement park. The United States of America. I heard a rumor. I have a question for the Canadians. Hit us with your Canadian rumor, sign man. We'll see if we can load up another page while you ask. I believe in the page. Believe. On the 14th of July, people, I know where you're going somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't have believed in this page. Reddit.
I think it's loading.
Is it that?
I said that too soon.
Yeah. Maybe a little refresh. Maybe give it a second chance here. There it is. Let's all take a moment to appreciate the time this guy spent putting his strap on his dirt so it wouldn't fall off. Nice.
Oh dear.
I'm sure that helped so much. It's like that vehicle we were driving behind that had the trailer and it was like a whole dust storm coming off, but we thought he was hauling something. It was just his trailer was so dirty that it was like we're in a cloud.
Oh my goodness.
I heard on your money the maple leaf is scratch and sniff. Theoretically, brand new $100 bills smell like maple, but who the hell has had a brand new $100 bill?
And really, I haven't heard that they smell like maple.
I've heard that. I've heard it's 100.
I
Theoretically so,
think
but
that's not accurate.
in
I'm pretty sure we do
general-
not have scratch and sniff
Yeah.
money.
In general, our money's not scratch and sniff. But also, no, I don't know anyone who's handled a brand new bill, so it sure as hell doesn't smell like maple by the time we have it.
Not even close. But I'm pretty sure we do not have scratch and sniff money. We have colorful money.
That's true. Our money
We
is
have fairly pretty
That's
money.
one of
Not
my
as pretty as
least-
some countries,
one of my
but
least favorite
but
things
it's
about the United States of
interesting
America.
looking.
All of their bills look the same.
they don't
so-
really all look the same. They're just the same color.
But anytime I'm trying to pay for something, I'm like, please, I swear there's a 10 in here. These are all ones. I swear there's a 10 in here somewhere. It's so annoying. So you have more bills than we do, and they're all the same color. So you have to pull them out of your wallet and look at the face of them to know what it is. It's very annoying. I hate it. And it's paper. So it's
Yeah.
just worse. I know we used to have paper money, but we upgraded. Made the smart move. I just hate American money.
Okay then.
That's just, but nobody said you could spray water on this. That would fix the problem. Maybe. She never even finished the alphabet. What did she get to? P for paprika?
She just did potato, I think.
Oh, we already did P. What did she get to?
I don't know.
We scrolled up.
Why was she doing the
don't know.
alphabet?
Just for fun.
Okay.
Oh, we got for S for Sharpie sniffing is where we left off. I got distracted by daycare stories. Only if he says that ain't going nowhere. Perfect. Either a joke or someone complying with some law or company rule. Many years ago, I worked in an excavation company that had to transport 5 yards of gravel from one street to another in a new housing development. All we had was an equipment trailer with no sides, so we loaded it up. As we were loading it, an inspector happened to drive by and decided he needed to tell us that loads had to be secured. Wanted to know how we were going to secure it. We had a small blue tarp and 2 straps over it and laughed at him as he drove away grumbling. Well, yeah, I mean, even if he didn't strap it, like,
Strapping a pile of dirt does absolutely nothing.
yeah, the dirt's
Except to perhaps get your strap dirty.
the question is, why is he trying to transport it on the bed of a trailer at all? Like, it's gonna blow away regardless. Oh, T is for tremble and fear, and U is for uranium umbrella. Wonderful. Okay, we have one more facepalm, and then we have some Am I the Asshole posts.
Is Emma an asshole?
Is who?
Emma. You said Emma's an asshole?
Am I an asshole?
Oh, okay. Not Emma. Never mind.
Any Emma's in chat? She didn't mean it. That wasn't directed at you. The page needs another refresh. To be fair, it's probably Reddit that's struggling. Reddit's been having the time lately. V is for vroom vroom. I mean, me mom's car. You can do it, Reddit. I believe. Okay, maybe Reddit can't do it. Refreshing did nothing. Come on, Reddit. You know.
W is for Wawa. Are you sure it's not for Wombat?
Peanut just got scared because something hit the window.
Peanut.
It jump scared her.
Okay.
X is for xylophone. Okay, this one just doesn't want to load. I guess we're not looking at that one. Maybe this little one? The cat is gone again because Peanut started growling. You scared
That's it, Peanut. Get on the cat cam.
Yeah, Peanut, come here. Peanut! Peanut! She's gone.
Peanut.
She's on her way. There she is. Right. Okay, and she's gone.
That's very brief.
You want to read this one?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we've got a 21-year-old male. He says, I have a brother, Tim, 24-year-old male. Ever since we were young, he's always bullied me for not being as smart as him and sneering at my passion for sports. Our parents tried to stop him, but in an Asian household, they valued brains over brawn, so he was always favored growing up. Less so now, as I have a stable job and am able to show my worth. I still do love them, but not Tim. He can't bully me as much as I outmuscle and outsize him, but the insults and jabs over 10 years are a sticking point. At the end of last year, I came out as being gay. My parents took some time to accept it. Dad is even going to Asian support groups to find out more. Tim, however, went off the rockers, verbally screaming at how I was a disgrace and a shame. I must have ruined our genes, mocking whether I even had a real penis. Mom says he just needs to get more time to process. But he showed none of that, getting worse and joining this religious group at his university. This weekend, I came home late to find my room had been emptied completely. My clothes, posters, gym and sports equipment, books, everything gone. The only thing intact was my laptop. I asked my parents and they had no idea as they had been out and left the house to Tim and his project group. Called him downstairs and he said that he was curing my perverted ways and that he and his religious group were going to change me for the better. Oh, God. I won't repeat all that he said, but he made a list of everything he threw out and why each made me a pervert. Among the items he threw out was a signed item worth $1,200.
Damn.
Yeah, I wonder what that signed item was. I mean, sports paraphernalia, I guess.
Baseball time.
Okay, so I am finally fed up and straight up told my parents that either Tim stays or I stay, but I'm not living with someone who hates me. I recounted since being young about him bullying, insulting, stealing, ruining my stuff. I made it clear that while I still love them, if they supported Tim ruining my life, I was cutting off contact. I grabbed my laptop and bag because I had nothing else left and left to stay at a friend's place. I've cooled down and called my mom saying that I won't cut off contact, but while Tim is still living at home, I won't be visiting. She has begged me to reconsider, saying that we can still fix the relationship, that she and Dad are getting my stuff back, but I'm adamant that I can't coexist with Tim. I have money saved up so I can pay rent and survive easily enough, so living is not an issue for me, unlike Tim, who's still studying. My friends are supporting my decision to move out, but my relatives have been saying that I'm going overboard, that I shouldn't punish my parents for what Tim did, that I should still show filial I'm sorry. I know exactly what the words are, and now I just can't say them. But basically, that he should show allegiance to his family. They all say I'm an asshole for forcing my parents between two sons, even if Tim is in the wrong. I am close to my relatives. I have a cousin who may as well be my actual brother, and even he thinks I should not be so aggressive with cutting Tim out. I do feel bad for my parents, but I don't think I'm wrong to get away from that toxicity. Am I the asshole?
No.
No, I think if you're in any sort of toxic relationship, you need to protect yourself, and if that means cutting yourself off from that other person.
Yeah, I agree that maybe he shouldn't punish his parents for it.
No, cutting off his parents doesn't make sense. And obviously, the other one is their child as well. They're not going to cut their child off because he's being an asshole.
I would. Another reason I should be parent. Yes.
You might feel differently if you had children, though.
Somehow I don't think I'd feel differently if I had a homophobic child.
Well, I think it would make sense for the parents to say, okay, Tim, I don't think you're welcome to live here anymore because your behavior towards another household member was highly inappropriate.
Yeah.
And so you need to move out. That would make perfect sense. Kicking your adult child out of home is highly appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think the parents couldn't have put in that much effort trying to get him to stop bullying him if it's still going when they're in their 20s. Like, he's bullying him like he's a little kid.
Yeah.
And allowing their religious group into his house to take all of his stuff. Like, it's just, he's just an idiot at that point. Like, I can understand parents taking time, whatever. Like, I think ultimately the parents shouldn't be in the middle of this, but it's their son.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Like, it's clearly a problem between him and Tim.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard when you're, you want to support your children, even if you're, not happy or proud of their current behavior, because you hope that at some point they will grow and become better people.
Either way, he's not.
But,
that's the music.
But,
what do people say? Not the asshole. Press charges on your brother. Take that list of items that he admitted to stealing and report him to the police. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Also against the group, make the police aware of these people and their hatred towards non-straight people. Well, that could be questionable depending where you live. I got people stuff to say about that one. My God. They're still talking about the police. Not the asshole. Your parents already made a choice and made it clear they don't have a real problem with your brother's homophobia or bullying. Oh, the original poster responded to that. I said it's a big language barrier for them. They've heard the abuse and bullying, but mostly put a stop to it. Their English is very poor. They're not aware of the homophobic language Tim uses until after I tell them about it. So I'm understanding about that lacking.
Mm-hmm.
They've understood the bullying since that's been happening since childhood, and either through me outgrowing him or actually finally listening to the scolding, he stopped the insults and we just cold shoulder each other until I came out. They don't understand the homophobia as I think it's just an extension of his bullying. I've been working on them about that for the past half year, but they've also been trying to come to terms with the gay son as well. Okay, so part of it is just that they're like, oh, well, he's just bullying you like he used to. Why is it different now?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like they're not understanding that, which gay people also exist in Asia. Breaking news.
Yeah, I think it's more than past time for the older son to move out.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, he knows his parents, like we don't, and he knows his household, we don't. But I don't know. I just want to let a homophobic son live in my house.
Yeah. I think he's definitely right to cut off contact with the brother. He seems like a very toxic, unpleasant person, and he doesn't need that in his life. I also understand not wanting to cut off with his parents completely because you know they're trying. Maybe they're not doing enough, but maybe they're doing all that they're currently capable of.
Tristan said, not the asshole, you're soft on your parents. I always said Asian parents are strict, tried to stop him. I honestly don't see how they could be so unsuccessful, but having you try to steal as an adult from family, I would be dead. Think your parents would tolerate you stealing from them or even from your brother? And the original poster said, they're fierce about the stealing. They're demanding he find what he took, and if he can't, to pay me back. Is the toxic turd listening? No. My parents are with me on this, but some stuff he took were memorabilia, which is hard to recover. So once again, if he's not listening to what his parents are saying, that's just more reason he should be kicked out, I think.
Yeah, I think it's definitely time to kick him out.
Yeah.
You don't treat your family member like that and expect your family to still treat you like family.
For all his smartness, the prick doesn't have a job, so yes, he's still living with them because nowhere else to go. That's his problem. Mom says dad's been cold with him, only telling him how disappointed he is and to fix my belongings.
You know, my mom kicked my brother out of the house and he didn't have a job because his behavior at home was not appropriate.
Saying, I'm disappointed in you, son, just isn't quite worth the balance of throwing out all of your brother's possessions.
Yeah, I'm
threatening to fix him.
I'm sure they can kick him out and he will figure it out. He can go live with some of his religious group friends. He can couch surf for a while if he has to.
Yeah.
He can figure it out.
Yeah, that's not the asshole. We've determined. I can stay on the camera, boo-boo? I know, you're right in my shadow. Not great.
She says the top of my head is not on the camera.
Yeah, if I angle it up too much, you can see our family photos.
Oh, well, you could always remove those before you do this.
That's true.
Yeah.
Put them back.
Oh, you could just lie them down on their faces.
That's true.
Then all you have to do is tip them up again, in case, actually moving them is too much work. Notice the sarcasm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
This one might not load. It's giving its darndest, I promise. Also, Y is for yo, 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 and Z is for z, 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 z. Am I the asshole for leaving dinner to get my son McDonald's even though food was served? And this is a certified asshole post.
How do you get to be certified as an asshole?
Enough.
You've been an asshole before?
No, enough responses have said that yes, they are the asshole. That is labeled as a get prepared because they are.
Okay.
A friend of my wife's invited my family, my wife, 29 female, our son, 5-year-old male, and I, 26-year-old male, over for dinner with him, 30-year-old male, and his daughter, 5-year-old female. As long as we've known him, this friend has kept a very strict diet, which has almost always led to us eating over at his place. He's an excellent cook, so I've never minded. We've not, however, seen him since both our children were infants. For dinner, we were served salmon with quinoa and arugula, My son is very mild for a 5-year-old. He throws tantrums very rarely and is the opposite of a picky eater. But I could tell from how he was acting that he was not vibing with this meal. He was disgusting. I don't blame him. He was picking at his plate, shuffling food, and while he didn't try the salmon, he did try the salmon. He didn't seem to like it. I asked him if he was happy with his dinner. He said no, he wasn't. I basically said, haha, kid's right, and asked if there's anything else for my son to eat. My wife's friend said his daughter just eats whatever he makes, so he doesn't keep kid food around the house. My wife said it was fine, our son would be fine. Well, he's a mild kid, he definitely gets hangry, and this is the beginning of our night, so we anticipated being there for an additional hour or two. I said their son needed to eat so he'd have the energy to play and apologize, saying I'd be gone for just a few minutes, picking up something for a kid. My wife's friend seemed irked, but said he'd try and keep my plate warm. I was gone for about 30 minutes, came back with a Happy Meal, ordered extra fries in case his daughter wanted any, which she was not allowed to have. The time I was back, dinner was winding down. My son ate his meal, we had dessert, and went off to play with his friend. It was definitely a hiccup in the night, but things were fine. We had a good time, but my wife was definitely cold with me. When he got home, 3 hours after dinner, she told me that I was an ass at dinner for no reason. Pointed out that if I hadn't gotten our son dinner, he would have been a monster the entire way home, to which she replied that we would have left earlier. I said I was just looking to solve the problem as it had happened, and that if her friend had been more accommodating, we wouldn't have been in the situation in the first place. She got offended on his behalf, and we decided to just go to bed because we're clearly not getting anywhere. It's been 2 days since. Things are still stilted between us. I'm not sure where I went wrong. I'm the asshole for leaving dinner to get my son food, even though dinner was served.
Yeah.
Kind of.
A little bit.
It's not like I think it would have been different if his son threw a tantrum, to be fair. But it is, number one, if you knew he had dietary restrictions, you could have just fed the kid before you came.
Yeah, if you knew there was a possibility that this person might serve food your child wouldn't like, you should have stuck a granola bar in your pocket.
Yeah,
and feed them before you get there. So
and you know your kid gets hangry. So I think if your kid gets hangry, you should.
And you just taught your child that if you're not really in the mood for what someone else serves you, you don't have to eat it because dad's going to run out and get you some junk food.
Yeah.
You just taught your kid a really bad lesson.
It's not that big of a deal as far as
you taught him that his needs are more important than anybody else in the room.
Yeah.
And that you're going to stop what you're doing to accommodate him when he didn't need to be accommodated.
Yeah.
So he doesn't eat a full meal. So he only eats a little bit. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there wasn't food for him to eat that he liked, but that's just something you do when you go to other people's houses. There's no guarantee they're going to cook you food you like. You deal with it.
Well, and I mean, if you have a kid who's a bit of a fussy eater who doesn't eat a lot of different foods, then you already, I mean, which isn't what he's saying, but if as a parent, this is a similar situation because he knew that the food might be a little different. So you plan for that. You make sure you have some snacks so that as soon as the kid's back in the car, they can eat.
He definitely could have just planned ahead. And like his wife said, if their kid didn't eat anything, they would have left sooner to get him food. So yeah, I think he kind of is the asshole. You're the asshole. That was really rude, especially because they had a kid and you brought an obvious treat food into the house. If your kid is picky, bring granola bars along with you or something. If you fail to do so, just handle it as it comes the way your wife suggested. Kid was going to be a monster. You could have left early and stopped at McDonald's on the way home. Your kid wasn't even complaining and there was dessert coming. You way overreacted. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I said what you said. If original poster teaching your son, if you don't like the meal, no problem. Dad will get you McDonald's right away. Yeah, so the asshole. Give the kid a piece of bread and butter and continue with the meal. Yeah. This is a response to that. Do you have kids? Because my kids routinely decide they would rather starve and play with friends than eat the food that's waiting for them. Fun is way more important than food in kid brain. They would have been fine and you couldn't wait any longer. The option is let's try a few more bites over dinner so it doesn't go to waste, or okay, we head out early and grab food on the way home. Yeah. That's a good point too. If you could have asked to order something, you didn't have to just get up and leave for 30 minutes in the middle of dinner. Blue boy is definitely using manners. He tried the meal but didn't complain. The father was rude. Yeah. Have you met a 5-year-old? Opie shouldn't have asked his kid was happy with the meal. The kid was eating. Even if he was not eating a lot, he was eating. You let the kid try as much of the food as he'll eat, and if he complains he's hungry later, gets grouchy, you leave and get food on the way home.
exactly.
Yeah, so everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, certified asshole post, I agree. The music keeps pausing.
And it wasn't even that he was an asshole. He just made some poor parenting choices in that situation.
You know.
So last night, me, female 20, and my partner, male 25, went for a night out. And on the way home, we stopped at the shop to grab a drink for the drive. There, he sees two men shouting at each other. One of them walked off, and while he was paying, he asked the other man if he was okay. He was well spoken but visibly drunk, and I sat in the car while my boyfriend had a cigarette outside with him. He was out there a while, and I went to join the conversation when my boyfriend said to him, "Do you need me to drop you somewhere?" The man said yes and got in the car. I don't really like strangers, and I'm
storm in the
and I'm very wary of men, but I figured dropping him off somewhere would take 10 minutes, so I would just sit quietly and deal with it, even though I was anxious. We then got to the road the man wanted dropped off on, and they sat in the car for a cigarette and to finish the conversation. When my boyfriend says he's dropping me home, and if he wanted to come for the drive, I looked at him and shook my head, clearly saying no, and he just ignored me and started driving. I was furious and anxious and was having a panic attack in the car and shaking, and my boyfriend saw this and ignored me. He pointed at my phone for me to check my texts, and he said that I needed to calm down and that he's working on something. I had no idea what he was doing. All I know is that there was a strange drunk man sat in the back of the car. I was silent the whole hour and a half we were all in the car together, only interjecting to say, "Please drop me off here. I want to get an Uber," and for him to say no. I got out at my house where my BF said he'd walk me to the door. He left the man in the car and asked me if I was okay, to which I said, "No, I can't believe you put me in this position, and you've never upset me this much." I went into my house and waited for him to check up on me or apologize, but he didn't call back for 3 hours. When he did finally call me back, I told him how angry I was that he didn't listen to me and how he'd blatantly ignored me. And he said that I was ungrateful for getting a ride home and it was horrible of me not to trust his judgment of the situation, and that he had a gut feeling that he followed. The man paid him when he finally dropped him home, and it was a decent amount. Of course, I didn't know that this would be the outcome, but my boyfriend flipped it on me and said I was selfish and only thought of myself at all times. He then proceeded to say that I don't do anything nice for him and how I felt alone in our relationship, and I ended up apologizing and crying. I'm now thinking I overreacted and made him feel bad for no reason, because nothing bad happened, and I let my anxiety get the best of me, but I also feel as though my anger was justified because he forced me into a situation I was uncomfortable with. Am I the asshole? Are you freaking... Oh, sorry, I have so much to say here.
I can say no, she's not the asshole, but I do think part of it is that if he is a cisgender, probably white man, he will never know the anxiety of letting a strange man get anywhere near him.
He just showed a stranger, a drunk stranger, exactly how to get to his girlfriend's house.
That's true.
That is not acceptable. And she... And made her be in a small space with a complete stranger that she was not comfortable in being in that space with.
Yeah, Mr. Gut Instinct over here has never watched a crime show.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but she was the person you were spending time with. Yeah. You don't get to just force another person on her if she says, "No, I'm not comfortable." And you certainly don't say, "Oh, you have to let me drive you home. You can't get out and get an Uber."
Yeah, that's not... I can understand offering to drive the man home because you don't really want a drunk guy walking alone at night. He could very easily get hit by a car or whatever. But he should have just let him out when he got there. Out you go.
Well, yeah,
there
why did he just keep him with him? Yeah. And when she said, "No, I'm not okay, I want out," he wouldn't let her get out?
Let her get out. Tuck and roll.
Yeah.
What's that movie? Ladybug? Something about Ladybug, with the girl gets an argument with her mom while driving the highway and she tucks and rolls. Sass Squirrel says hi to you.
Hi.
Yeah. No, she is not the asshole. Her boyfriend is. Oh, and hello to me too. Thank you. Yeah.
No, I think she needs to get a new boyfriend. This is my suggestion.
Not the asshole. The story could have gone in a vastly different direction and someone could have gotten seriously hurt. Especially strange to me that he'd let this random stranger come along while he dropped you off at home, despite your protests, pretty much just showing this dude exactly where you lived. I can only speak as a young woman myself, but that's terrifying. And reading this gave me chills because I could only think about just how wrong this could have gone. Crazy that he did all this just because he had a gut feeling he'd be paid instead of considering the safety and well-being of you both. My only word of advice is to end the relationship. Doesn't sound healthy or safe. Yeah, I would agree. Hello, Amber. Good evening. She needs to get out of this relationship now. Yeah, the two of you went out together and you're supposed to be grateful that he gave you a lift home afterwards. Yeah. Not the asshole. My guess is that he acted on impulse, offering this guy a lift, and then didn't want to admit that it was a stupid idea, so he's making you look unreasonable instead. The fact that no harm came to you doesn't make it safe or sensible thing to do. Hope this isn't how he usually behaves. I would hope so. Not the asshole. I hope he's your ex-boyfriend now. Me too. That's true. He also could have just called a guy an Uber.
Exactly.
Like, here's my phone. You want to call someone? Like, not the asshole.
And I'm confused as to why they kept, stopping and having conversations and cigarettes together. What exactly were they talking about?
That's true. Like,
and why exactly did he end up with all this money? Did he sell some drugs to this guy?
What conversation was so interesting that you're like, hey man, I know I just drove you to your place. You want to just come with me to my girlfriend's house too? Not the asshole. Clearly. That's messed up. My goodness. Is it gonna load? Is it gonna load? Why Spotify keeps being like, you're transmitting audio through Discord? No, I am. Boy, okay, here we go. Is it my turn to read?
It is.
Okay. I, 26-year-old female, have an aunt, 50s, who puts very little importance on education. She barely graduated high school and instilled these views in her son as well. My parents had raised me to view education as the best tool you can have in life, and I wholeheartedly agree. Excuse me. I graduated high school with honors and am now in university for biochemistry. Currently, I'm living with my mom and working to save money for tuition. I'm working at the local seafood processing plant where my aunt also works. This job is nearly killing me. I work from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. and is hard physical labor. I'll be the first to admit I'm not built for hard labor, and I also have some health issues that make it even harder. But the money is good, so I stick with it. The other night during our break, I had a lot of back pain, so I took a muscle relaxer. It was hard to move my left arm. My aunt didn't like that. She's normally very cranky and bossy, so I wasn't surprised when she went on a rant about how I will have to suck it up because this will be my life from now on. Slaving in a factory because office jobs hardly exist. Normally I just ignore her, but I was so on edge that I snapped and said something along the lines of, I'll never have to use hard labor because I'm not as uneducated as you, so I have better options. This job doesn't require any sort of schooling, and you don't even have to pass in a resume to apply. My comment shut her up for the night, but the next day, she called my mom. She called my mom about it. My mom said I need to hold my tongue better because my aunt is just like that. But I don't think my aunt should just get a free pass at being a bit of you-know-what. Edit/update. Seems to be mixed opinions on this one, and fair enough. I was in a rush when I made this post and had left out some info that may or may not be useful. Number one, my aunt has always been and always will be bossy and mean. It's not just towards me, but everyone. She will say some really nasty stuff to anyone unprovoked for God knows what. Two, I don't equate uneducated with stupid. I also don't think trade work is beneath a degree. Both are an education, both require skills. I think your dog's coughing up the toy she's chewing on. I've specifically tailored my studies to accommodate my health problems best I can. I have disability aid on campus and make sure I have documents on file at any job. The current job has been fairly okay with me needing an extra break once in a while. The work is still painful to complete. I have nerve damage, dystonia, and slip disc in my back that was fixed but still causes pain out of nowhere. Number four, I had gone to my manager to talk about what happened, largely because I assumed that he would have known after 4 days, but he hadn't, to my surprise. Told him exactly what happened and that I specifically picked a position away from my aunt the first day because we didn't really get along. That was something they'd wondered, but I didn't explain why at the time to avoid concern about hiring me. He said technically he has to file a report on the incident and talk to my aunt, but considering I was so forthcoming about it, I'm not likely at risk of losing my job. Am I going to apologize to my aunt? No. Not unless my manager asks me to. She hasn't spoken to me since the incident and avoids sitting with me at lunch. Haven't been met with passive aggression in 4 days and it was wonderful. Anyway, that's it. I acted poorly and I take responsibility for that, at least on Reddit. That's for everyone's input. Okay. So he probably shouldn't have said something mean to her. But also, if she says mean things to everyone, maybe she had it coming.
Maybe. I mean, I think he just needs to work on himself and being,
Yeah.
you know, being a kind person. And it's unfortunate that he called her uneducated.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I
I
mean,
can understand snapping at someone if you've spent, presumably he's known his aunt his whole life. If he's if she has known her aunt her whole life and had to deal with her aunt being mean to her, maybe it was, bad enough, finally snapped. I can kind of understand that. But yeah, calling her uneducated seemed kind of unnecessary. Like, there's no need to be, I'm better than you.
I mean, she didn't need to rant on him, as he puts it, and but yeah, he's biting his tongue and walking away from his aunt would probably be his best bet.
Yeah, what do people say? Your aunt was rude as hell, and to prove how much better you are than her, you stoop down to her level. Your fancy education won't mean anything if that's how you look at people. That's true. That's fair. People, I'll say about that one. She earned it. Okay. I don't know about that one. You can call someone an asshole and put them down without resorting to classism. It's not necessarily classism.
No.
Everyone sucks here. Not built for hard labor kind of made me laugh. Not sure what her son has to do with this. Like you admit, the job pays well. So it's working out for your aunt who has a high school education, and apparently you can do it even if you're part with your university. Your aunt is wrong that doing one job means you'll do it forever, but you're wrong that having part of a university education means you'll never have to work at a job that considers to be beneath you. And you're really too old, both too old to fight like this at work. Okay, they're definitely too old to fight like that at work.
Yeah.
And that's true. There's so many people with high school degrees working at McDonald's, right alongside the 14-year-old.
You mean university degrees? Yes.
Any kind of degree.
You just don't know what's going to happen in your future. You really don't. Don't know if you're going to get injured. Don't know if you're, going to make a huge mistake and lose your job or...
Yeah, it's just that hell, half the people I work with in food service have degrees, myself included. Karma has a way of knocking people like this off their pedestal and realizing you will work any job that pays the bills, which is what they're doing right now. So you just they admitted that it's a well-paying job and that their aunt is capable of doing it, and they're obviously having issues. So should their aunt be mean and say things like that? No, but they also shouldn't. Everyone was the asshole there. Everyone sucks. Give it 2 more.
All right. I have been with my girlfriend for over 2 years. We live in the UK, and I currently work full-time, and through my job, they pay to put me through a lot of exams. Most terms, I only have 1 exam, but in the autumn and winter, I have 3. 2 of these are the 2 hardest exams, so I'm going to be stressed between September to December since I still have to work full-time alongside this. As a hobby, I like to play video games to unwind. I mainly play single-player games since I like a good story. In October, there are around 5 games coming out that I really do want to play. I decided as a treat for myself for doing the exams, I would take 2 to 3 days leave to have a nice long weekend in December and enjoy playing them. I mentioned this to my girlfriend, and she said it would be a waste of leave since I get 10 days off over Christmas anyway. I pointed out that I'd be busy for most of that since I'd be seeing family on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. My girlfriend and I have plans to go away for a couple of nights, etc., so while it will be a fun 10 days, it won't be relaxing. She just repeated it's a waste of leave, especially if we're looking at a small holiday abroad in January, February. I told her this won't affect that, and I'll still have the leave. I told her it's my leave to use as I please, and me taking 2 to 3 days in December does not affect her at all. She just repeated that it's 2 to 3 days less that we'll be able to use for things for both of us to do. Am I the asshole for booking 2 to 3 days off to play video games?
No. I don't think so.
No, I mean,
not in the sense of you're using up time with your girlfriend. I don't think.
If someone told you that they were, they'd been really stressed and they just really needed a break and they were just going to take some time off and go stay in a little cabin in the mountains and read books and relax for a bit and go for walks, or if someone told you they'd been through a really stressful time, they just needed a little break and a little time to themselves, so they were going to go away to the spa for a bit, would you think that they were being an asshole?
It'd probably be different.
If they said, he said, I'm not taking any time away from our other plans. I'm not now restricting our other plans because of this. I just need to add this in because I need a little me time to recoup.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. And if his way of recouping is to sit in front of the screen and play video games, okay, then.
I think it's fine. I don't think he's the asshole.
I think he'll enjoy his time with other people and be more engaged with all those other people if he's had his break first.
Yeah, I think his girlfriend's just overreacting a little bit.
I think she's either not understanding or she's a little too focused on herself.
Not the asshole. As long as you have enough time to cover your holiday, then it's no issue. You don't take the leave, you will lose it. That is true. If it's the end of the year, some companies do. You only have a certain amount of leave per year. Not the asshole. A partner that loves you should want you to take the time you need to de-stress and rest, even if it's not with them. Try to explain to her that this is you doing what you need to take care of your well-being. It doesn't sound like you're neglecting any of your responsibilities or her, so she doesn't really have a right to criticize you for it. I agree with that because sometimes it's not possible to relax with other human beings around.
Yeah.
No matter, even if it's a vacation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you care about that person or how much you like spending time with them. Sometimes you just need to be all by yourself for a little bit.
Not the asshole. It's your leave to do with what you wish. Just because she's your girlfriend doesn't mean she gets to dictate what days you take, when you take them, what you use them for. Exactly. Everyone's pretty much saying that same thing. One, she's your only your girlfriend. It's your leave. Be more empathetic towards your partner if you guys were starting a family, i.e. engaged or married. Time off gets more precious, spending quality time together gets rarer, but she would have a point of wasting it. This is not the case. It also doesn't say anything about the girlfriend's job.
Yeah, I mean, in none of these do you get the whole story. Yeah. And if you did, perhaps your point of view would be different.
Yeah, but I'd still say not the asshole. And the comments agree. All right, so our last one, Twitch chat. If it loads. Ooh, it's a short one for you.
Okay. So this person is 47. That's quite the sentence. We're going to change it. I have had very low contact with my daughter, Noelle, for 3 years at this point in time. I went low contact with her. Okay, you said that already. There's a lot that has happened, but my last straw was when she was 23. She stole my credit card and racked up to close to $4,000. There's more to it, but that was my last straw. Anyways, I'm getting married. I have been with him for 10 years, and we are having a very small gathering. My 2 other kids, his kids, and my grandma. So a total of 8 people for the wedding. Noelle, the daughter that she's not having contact with, is doing better now, got her life together, and we are talking more often, but I didn't invite her. I don't trust her not to pull a stunt at the wedding. It got back to her, and she is angry. Long argument on both sides, and in the end, she called me an ass. My kids are divided on this issue, so I want an outside opinion. Thank you for everyone's comments. I think I am fine if this ends my relationship with her. If she wants to cut contact since I am not healed enough and do not trust her enough after all she did, then it's on her. It's been 3 years now of low contact and my life has been better. I don't think no contact would change any of that, especially since she still hasn't given me an apology.
I would say not the asshole, just because it's a wedding. That's a big deal. And it's not like everyone's invited except her. It's 8 people.
And your tendency is to say, well, if you're inviting some of your kids, you should invite all of them. But
not all your kids racked up $4,000 of debt on your credit card.
Yeah, if someone steals your credit card and she's saying that was the last straw, that there had been incidents that were problematic before that.
And based on the timeline, that would mean Noelle is 26 now.
Yeah.
Mm. And it's clearly a Noelle problem, because if the other two kids were raised presumably in a similar manner and they didn't do that, then I probably wouldn't trust her as an individual either.
Yeah, and again, it's about toxic relationships, and you have the right to choose to not have someone who is toxic in your life. So,
and presumably the fiance is okay with it and knows like the background and hasn't complained. So, and she even says, I think I'm okay if this ends my relationship with her. It's kind of implying she doesn't really want more of a relationship. She's not going to be upset if the relationship ends.
And just because someone's your child doesn't mean that you're going to have a good relationship with them, or that they're going to have a good relationship with you.
Yeah.
As a parent, your responsibility is to ensure that your child is safe and well cared for. In some situations, that means having someone else raise the child, because you can't do it. But these are adults, and we'd all love for everyone to have a good, cushy relationship with their parents, but it doesn't always work.
As the daughter, I would think she was an asshole too if I was the daughter, of course, but ultimately I don't think she is. It might suck to hear that as the daughter, but if you did enough to your own mother to make her not trust you at your wedding, that is on you.
Yeah, if you've treated her that poorly and broken the trust that badly, you wouldn't expect a friend to continue to put up with your behavior and invite you to their wedding.
Yeah.
Just because she's the mom doesn't make it any different.
Water's not thicker than water.
It is not.
It's
no.
really not.
If you've damaged that relationship that much.
People agree. Not the asshole. She broke your trust. Has to work to rebuild your trust before you can fully invite her back into your life. Reading OP's comments, her daughter has a lot to make up for to the whole family. She stole and sold grandma's jewelry given to grandma from her dead husband. Well, damn. Yeah, if she's doing stuff like that regularly.
Yeah.
It's not on original poster's conscience to care about the feelings of or want a relationship with someone who has done so many horrible things to so many people and never even did the bare minimum of apologizing. That's true. She said she never apologized. Mo Carey is the onus of reestablishing a healthy relationship, and reaction shows that she hasn't changed at all. She's still the same selfish, manipulative thief she's always been, only instead of stealing material items, she's now leeching everyone's emotional energy. That is fair.
Yeah.
3 years is not a very long time for a person to fundamentally change their character. I would say that still argues for the not the asshole perspective, because I mean, it depends on the person and how bad it was as to whether or not 3 years is enough time to fundamentally change your character. But if she hasn't, then yeah, you wouldn't want her there.
Yeah. You know your daughter, and the fact that your other kids are divided, meaning that some of them agree with not inviting her, I'd say you're justified in it. If a sibling also thinks their sister shouldn't be there, that's pretty damning. Rebuilding trust takes time, and if you aren't ready to have her at a high-stakes event like a wedding, then you have every right to not invite her.
Yeah, that's why I think, dude, it's a wedding. Like, it would be different if it was like a family gathering, like a family reunion. You're like, ooh, but not that child. I think that would be a little different, but it's her wedding and they're only inviting 8 people. I just don't think the daughter has the right to be that upset about it.
Well, yeah, it's not like they're having a massive wedding, inviting all the neighbors plus their dogs, but telling the daughter she can't come.
Yeah, and she didn't even tell the daughter, like, you can't come. It got to her from someone else.
Yeah,
like,
that they're planning a small event and she's not invited.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the wedding thing. A lot of people agree the wedding is the sort of tough decider. You have to decide whether or not you want to end your relationship with her. I get you don't trust her. You probably have a good reason not to trust her, and you're justified in not inviting her. You could potentially lose any progress you made in your relationship with her. Choosing not to invite her is going to cause a rift in your relationship. Any backsliding that happens in your relationship with her will be your fault. Just make sure you know that by not inviting her, you're putting yourself in a position to move further away from your daughter. If you think it's worth risking that to ensure your daughter doesn't do anything at the wedding, then go for it. And the person did edit the post and say they shouldn't care if this ended their relationship.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but like, if it's your child and you're at a point where you don't care, then clearly she's done way too much wrong. Yeah. And the wedding is not the biggest deal in this scenario. So, yeah, so everyone agrees, not the asshole. And I mean, I don't think anyone's really an asshole in this situation, but
No,
I
I
can
think it's
understand
just
the
really
daughter being
unfortunate.
upset,
And
but she did it to herself,
yeah,
ultimately.
you can't treat other people like that and expect them to still want you in their life.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and yeah.
Yeah, she did that to herself. All right. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did you have more
There
to
we
say?
go. I know I'm done.
We did it. We have done it. Boo is just in the dark. She's a blob. You cannot see her at this point. But she's there. There she is.
She's like, what the heck? You woke me up.
Here's my beautiful baby. My beautiful baby girl. All right.
Chubby, round little bean.
Yeah. My beautiful baby girl. Since she's stunning. She hates me, but it's fine.
She doesn't hate you.
She's upset because the dog ate her drugs. The drug dog got her.
Yep.
In the end. Anyways, that was it. Anything to say to the people before we go? Before we depart?
Thanks for putting up with us.
All right. Goodbye, Tricia. Goodbye now. Bye-bye.